Now, this is not a movie. This is happening at Umuahia in Abia State. It is massive, massive erosion, an active erosion happening right here. And people here say it just started about between 10 and 15 years ago. And the speed is very staggering. They are afraid for their lives, and their farmlands are being washed away. But presently, the World Bank and the government, they are actually doing something, working on this site to ensure that this is checked before it gets out of hand.
This is Green Angle, the show that explores the environment we live in and the ecological problems we face while preferring sustainable solutions. I am Ugochi Oluigbo. Most parts of southeastern and southern Nigeria is threatened by soil erosion. The small landmass has huge gullies swallowing up homes, farmlands, roads, and everything in its path. For years, the Nigerian government has largely ignored this threat or said to have invested billions of ecological funds. But not much is being done on sites across Nigeria.
I sleep outside my house, outside the compound. Every evening, every night I had my bath and washed out.
Wow.
So after 2 days I say no. Whatever happened, I will sleep in my house. So I started sleeping in that bunker. But it came to a climax when that wall fell. From there down to the stream. Abia State Governor came to my rescue. Was it in May? Yes, he came himself. This house nearly went down. He did some intervention work. He called in a contractor who came and just rescued it to a point.
I spoke to a soil scientist from Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike, on the cause of this.
Human activity contributes to this kind of situation, especially when people deforest the land without making any effort to protect and conserve the land. Ultimately, you're going to have this kind of results. So it's also important that people are made to become aware of how they contribute to this kind of situation, so that people will not just deforest the land. If there is need to remove deforestation, they should also know that it is also important to replace what they have removed. It is important that environmentalists should be consulted before people build, so that if you have a site where you need to build, all you need to do is to cut the trees in the place where you're exactly going to site the structure. You don't need to deforest the whole place. Allow the other trees around the house to protect not just even the house from wind, but also to protect that environment. But what happens here is that once somebody gets a site, he goes in and clears the entire place, whether he's using the entire plot or not. It is important that before people build, they should consult experts, environmentalists, who will look at the environment and even direct that the structure should be erected according to the slope and structure of that area instead of this, because once you disturb a slope, it accelerates erosion. So if you can build according to the slope of the land, it helps to protect the land. What accelerates this erosion and gullies is the fact that when people are trying to build, they quickly disrupt the slope. And once you have done that, then erosion is faster, the rate is faster.
But can people actually also save this situation? I mean, it has happened. Can we plant trees? Can we replant to help stop the pace or the speed
of course, that can be done. That is one of the things that we advocate that people should do, plant trees. Melina trees are good. There's this other tree, Indian bamboo, is also used. I know that in a place like Amucha, where we did our last work on climate change, they have a gully where they have used Indian bamboo to check the erosion there, and it was good. So people can do that. They can plant trees, Melina trees, afforest the place and minimize the impact of this erosion, because these erosions will start gradually as sheet erosion and then gradually develop into these gullies that we see. And it is also important that when this thing is starting, it should be tackled at that time, yes. Yeah.
Here at Umuahia in Umuahia, so much is changing. The solid ground is quickly melting away.
The erosion started 2000, and that time it's not as wide as it is now, just narrow, because we have hill here. This is one of our rivers where we come and fetch water. So all of a sudden, when they built our road, the former finance minister, Ugochi Oluigbo, he authorized that they should build this road. As they are building the road, there is a drainage they are putting. And that time, one Chief Okengu was alive then. Then he saw what is going to happen. He told them that they should take this drainage down to this stream. So they promised that they will do that. But all of a sudden, when they finished building the road, they left the whole thing. And they left the whole thing and left. So started from that, we begin to see erosion from this side. As it was coming, we thought that this thing is not going to be as it is now. All of a sudden, just 2005, 2015, we saw the erosion down near to Chief Okengu's house. People were lamenting, shouting. But when the erosion started, the World Bank have come to see what is happening. They promised that they will come. They will come. When they saw the speed of the erosion, they decided to come immediately without wasting any time. Whenever such a thing happens, what he will do, he call all the whole people in agriculture. They will come. They will make a ridge straight like this. They make sure that if the rain fall, it will move straight to this side. Just slowly, there is a place where the thing will pass, and it will not cause any problem. The man did it to the extent that he decided, if you look at these banana trees, he's the one that planted it. He planted the banana trees when he was in agriculture before he died. He planted the whole banana trees you are seeing from here down to that place. Even this, what do you call it? Is it raffia bamboo? This raffia bamboo. He planted this also down to that place to make sure to check this erosion. He tried everything possible to make sure that this thing will not be a problem to us as we are living here. The man tried. And when he died, we come and remember all his good works. We don't know what to do till the World Bank came to help us here.
Behind this housing estate, which is said to be the largest in Umuahia, is another site. It is linked to an abandoned road project.
This place is called Abama Area 1, Road 1 Housing Estate. This is a road, a major road, up to 2009. It was in 2009 that the contract was awarded by Abia State government for the construction of a 5-kilometer road around the state. Now the contractor midway, not midway itself, maybe at the early point of his contract, construction, terminated his work up there. And that contractor, I don't know, he said worldwide something, Abia State. He terminated his work up there. When he terminated his work up there, he did one funny thing, channeling all the whole erosion routes. All of them are terminated here. So by the time they were constructing, it was expected that they would have, first of all, reinforced where the erosion will terminate before channeling all the erosion to this point. They didn't do that.
The water?
I mean the flood, the erosion itself, the water itself. The actual thing that should have been done is, first of all, you prepare the place, the collection point of the whole erosion. You first of all prepare it and then channel the water. They didn't do that. What they did was that they first of all constructed this small drainage. The drainage they constructed is not even enough to contain the erosion. As you are coming, you find out that the water, when it rains, in fact, the whole water floods the entire road. And now it came up and started eating up the soil. You can see most of the houses here. See, this one is gone. This one is gone. All the tenants have evacuated from here. They are gone. You come up here, see this house here. This house here. In the next, call it in the next rainy season, I'm sure everybody here will vacate.
The Federal Ministry of Environment, in conjunction with the World Bank and other partners, have designed the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project (new map) to address the menace of erosion in the southeast as well as land degradation in the north. There are hundreds of thousands of erosion sites across Nigeria, much of them in the southeast and the south-south. Gullies deep and wide enough to take tens of 6-story buildings are not hard to find. From Umuahia to Umuahia and Amaigbo, the story is the same.
This erosion led to my husband's death. This is his holy land. The land kept eroding daily. He developed high blood pressure and passed away. All my last cash crops to sustain my family are in the gully now. Last farming season, my farm was bigger. Today, half has disappeared.
Also threatened is the Imo State School of Health Technology, Amaigbo.
We are worried about this place is because the threat is coming very close to the institution and it's also affecting the community. Already it has taken one upstairs, many lives within the community here. We are totally being threatened. If nothing is done about it in the near future, that means we are going to run away from our own community. Let something be done about it. We are calling the state government, the federal government, even outside Nigeria, to be of help to us because we are now in trouble. We don't know what to do next.
look at the one that developed about 2 to 3 years, that one that is carrying leaf now, the whole of this place developed this year. Yes, the whole of this place developed this year. Yes, 1 year difference, and if care is not taken, this thing will move up to the house, for the up to the school compound of the health technology, and cut off this road.
Health technology.
Yes, health technology here. You are seeing the one we picked before. So, yes, state institution, health technology. So when you move from here to that to the stream where this thing empties, it's up to 1.5 kilometers. Do you understand? With the same width and the same depth, pulling with the same rate, and particularly this particular issue has taken a life.
Discussions at the 14th International Media Forum on the Protection of Nature were focused on the economy and finance in the carbon-free era.
L'economia e la finanza
In a normal world, economy and finance sectors have to be guided by politics, but what often happens is the opposite. This conference is meant to start that discussion because the two sectors can help us achieve the sustainable development goals faster. We want the sector to become more low carbon and invest in low carbon industries. This cannot happen now, but we must start to use less natural resources now.
America's leadership in the climate change discussions and the Trump effect was also a topic here.
He is, of course, undoing the things his predecessor did to make the United States active in climate action. Which is regrettable, but we are finding that subnational governments, our states and our communities and our businesses are taking up the slack and assuming leadership on the issue in the United States.
There's also the question of how should development be measured? Should it just be by the GDP or by other indices like how happy are the people of a nation? How are their environments protected? And of course, how are the resources used for the benefit of the people?
You know, we estimated several years ago that the total contribution of ecosystem services, the benefits, the free benefits that nature provides to us is much larger than GDP, you know, as a whole. So leaving those out really is missing a lot. There's been a lot of work surveying people, asking them, you know, how well they're doing. I don't know the results offhand for Nigeria, but what we find is that has not been improving over time in most countries. You know, people's sense of well-being, their life satisfaction has not been improving, even though, you know, GDP and economic activity has been going up over that whole time period. But bringing that into the equation, bringing in the positive contributions of social and natural capital, I think that's the challenge going forward. And I think we'll do a lot more with this idea of building what you might call well-being economies.
Those here say journalists are important players in the protection of the ecosystem and driving stories that can pull investment in sustainable development projects and businesses.
That they don't go to the banks, fill up forms and things like that, because most banks wouldn't give them the money because it's not safe and not secure for the banks. So they go for crowdfunding and then they tell their stories, and then some people come and they invest in innovation. Yeah? And then, of course, this sometimes are very good stories for the media as well.
Facts about erosion. Anywhere that fast-moving water moves across soil, erosion can occur. If the water is moving fast enough, water can pick up and move rocks. Erosion occurs more frequently where the ground is sloped with a steep grade, not on flat ground. The velocity of water increases as it moves downhill. Places where deforestation has occurred with no roots from vegetation holding the soil in place require less water speed to cause erosion. Ways to limit soil erosion. Placing rock in ditches to slow down water runoff. inlet protection like placing filter fabric fences around stormwater drains. Erosion control mats are permanent or temporary mats placed over the ground to stop exposure of the soil with fast-moving water. Planting of plant seed, trees or fast-growing grasses and weeds establish root structures to contain the soil and slow down water flow. And that's Green Angle for today. Thanks for watching. I am Ugochi Oluigbo. Bye now.